Hello and welcome to Paper Plays Julie K.
Welcome everyone, and thank you so much for stopping by to check out my latest video. And today I'm here working on the full deck challenge by Shanuki Art here on YouTube. I will link her channel below. And I believe we are on card 9, and today's prompt is pink with black splatter. I'm going to try and use this acrylic artist ink, and I'm just going to put it, I have a little tray thing here that I'm going to use. I'm going to try that first. If that doesn't work, I'll go grab some acrylic paint, but I just had that sitting closer on my desk, so I decided to try that because I've had that in my stash for a long time and haven't used it. So I'm just going to get going right away. And again, we're supposed to have a carryover item. And so my constant every time is to use this rubber stamp. I did stamp it before I started filming on one of my scrap pieces of paper that I pulled out. And since the prompt was black splatter, I kind of saw that more as a brighter pink than a more of a vintage or a pastel pink. So I'm going with some brighter stuff, and that I had a lot of paper scraps in that color, so I just pulled out a couple. And then I did also find for my another carryover item from last week. We're supposed to do one from week to week, just something that was on the previous card, and I either am going to go with the sentiment or I have this postage stamp. So I'll probably go with that postage stamp because that's a nice bright pink color. And so I think just to start off with, I'm just going to, again, I think I'm just going to rip some paper here, and we'll just start with this one. And I want to see if I can maybe do some sort of like angled, like rip it kind of like this again, just so then we can kind of see the number still. And it just looks like I'm close, so I'll just have to rip a little bit more there. So I think that'll work for that one. So I'm just going to start gluing down. Again, I'm just not going to stress too much about where paper's going. Again, you're supposed to kind of do it in a collage style, and I am obviously behind on this challenge. I started it late, and I thought about trying to catch up and just show everything, but I just decided I kind of like just to have, just to sit down and do this once a week. So I'm just going to continue to do it once a week instead of trying to catch up. And I know because I've been watching them each week, I know that as each week goes by, she's been kind of showing more mixed media stuff. So that's why we're adding the black splatter, and so there'll be some other like texture pastes and things like that coming up down the road. And of course my good scissors that I like to use is not close by. Not quite sure where I left that in my craft room. I'll have to do a little searching. I've been working on organizing things in my craft room. I've been getting some free craft supplies from my mom's neighbor. She's been cleaning out her stash, and then also cleaning out, getting some stuff from a kind of a friend of a friend type situation that they're cleaning out a house of craft stuff. And so she's been passing on stuff to me that she thinks I can use. So I've been slowly getting all that stuff organized and put into my craft room. So let's see, I have a couple more scrap pieces of paper here that are kind of some brighter pinks. Let's see what some of these look like just to finish this one off. I thought I had like a small piece of paper, but maybe not. I do like the music paper, and I also like this polka dotted paper. So I don't think that's too bad there. Or I can flip it this way too. So I'll put that one down, and then maybe one other strip of something else. I had this flower one, but maybe I'll just put some of this down and then put this, because I kind of really like the this paper, but maybe I'll put some of this down first just to kind of break up. You know, this is a little bit brighter pink. This is a little bit more subdued. So maybe I'll break up the colors. I think that'll work. And then I can put this bright pink that way. So that'll work. We'll do that. And chances are, most of that will probably end up getting covered up anyways. All right, so that works. And then again, let's see. So I had this cute little camera that came from a scrapbooking paper collection, and then from that same one, it's from Simple Stories, I had this. So I was thinking either this or the camera, but since the camera is already cut out, I think I'm going to go with that one. And then I also found some stickers that went with that paper collection, and this one says Smile, so I think I'm going to add that on here too. You know, and then of course if I do the postage stamp, so I'm going to cut this down just a little bit more. So, you know, that could go on here somewhere. I also pulled out this circle too, which is that same paper. But, you know, maybe I'll put a little bit of that on here just for some interest. And I also, just for some contrast, I had this heart along with in all that paper collection at the time. So I was just thinking I still might just add a little color to it, possibly. And I also had some of this little, it's shiny thread. And so I was thinking I could wrap some of that underneath the camera or the postage stamp. I do like this circle right there, so I am going to go ahead and add that down here to the bottom. And then before I decide on my focal point, I think I'm going to try and splatter it with the black paint. So I know in Shanna's work, in Shinuki Art, she does something like this to get her splatter, but I don't think mine's wet enough to do that without getting my fingers dirty, but I might as well just get my fingers dirty. So I think that'll work. Good enough. And then, so I'm going to go ahead and use my heat tool to dry that off, and then we'll glue the rest of it down. And the other thing I want to try doing before I glue the other stuff down is I have this pencil, and it's called Sketch and Wash. So I think you can, I'll try it here, but I think you can just draw things, and then you can kind of do like a watercolor pencil with it. So I think I want to add a little bit of contrast around the circle in the black, and then maybe between the paper layers. So I'm going to go ahead and do that before I glue down the other layers. I think I'm going to pop up the camera with some little pop dots. And again, before I pop it on, I think I'm just going to go around it with this sketch and wash pencil just to add a little bit of contrast on it. I probably should have done that before I put the little sticky dots on the back of it, but and I'm just scribbling around it because it'll look a little bit better once I put the pen around it, or the watercolor pen, just the water. I have this little pen and it has water in it. It's kind of like a watercolor brush, but and then I'm trying to decide if I want to like punch out a couple little black dots maybe and see what that looks like. Yeah, I think I'm going to like that. So I'm just going to put them kind of randomly on the card. So I like how that one turned out. I think it's kind of cute for pink with black splatter. And then of course I did the little touch of teal. I'm going to go ahead and create a Rolodex card real quick to share with you guys and wash my hands, and I will be back to show you that in a minute. So I'm back, and before I show you the index card, I did add a couple of things to the altered playing card. And I added the word smile. I forgot to do that while I was on camera. And then I had also pulled out my little scraps of pink laces and trims. And I found this little bit brighter colored pink one. So I thought I would go ahead and add that to my final card. And I really like how that turned out. And then here is the Rolodex card that I did using the scraps and pieces that I didn't use on the playing card. So there's the first side. I'm not very happy with the butterflies that I cut out. I tried to outline them in that black pencil and it just kind of got muddy. So I'm not really happy about those, but it is what it is. And the back side, again, I just had some more of those little pieces that I showed you that I had debated about using on the playing card. Here was the car, and then here was the other camera that I did cut out. And then on one of those other pieces, when I flipped the paper over, there was the pair of sunglasses, and I thought that was kind of cute. So I went ahead and used that, and then I used the words carefree, which was a sticker on that sticker sheet. Then this one I had used the sticker that said tickled pink. So those are my two cards for this week, and I believe next week's is, and I'll have to go and look, I think next week's is like vintage and brown splatter. So I will be back again next week to show you what I created for that. But thank you again, everybody, so much for watching this week. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful day and happy crafting.